Everybody, we got Ranjot here. What's your last name?
Taliwal.
Ranjot Taliwal. He is a vertical farmer in Surrey, and today we're going to talk about him, his journey, why did he come to Canada, what the F is vertical farming, how's his experience been. He's just been a really positive, open guy, and I just wanted to bring him here to share his story. So guys, you're welcome to come join along and get to learn a little bit more about Ranjot and maybe a little bit more about me, your host, Gagan Deep Singh. We'll call this the Gagan Podcast.
Yeah, sounds good.
The
Good
Gagan,
name.
the Gagan Podcast.
Gagan podcast.
Welcome, brother.
Yeah.
Cheers. So, I think the first thing I want to ask you is you came to Canada in 2019
Yeah.
from Punjab, India.
Punjab, India. Yeah.
I hear very good things about Punjab.
Yeah.
Whenever I go, I have so much fun.
Yeah.
Why leave? Why come to Canada?
Basically, like the main reason behind that was to study more. Because when I was back in India, I completed my master's. I was a research fellow there. It's a government job there, and the main motive was that to like educate farmers to not do stubble farming. So in Punjab, there's a big thing when they grow rice. Then there's a stubble, like after we harvest, there's a stubble remaining. It has a lot of silica, so no, like our cattle or something don't eat it. So what they do is they just burn it. So that is a big pollution contributor in Punjab. Like I remember like last month I was in India. In afternoon it was completely dark because there was so much smoke in it. And then like my director at Atari, like the organization was Atari, it was a central government project, and he told that Ranjot, you're so like good in studies and everything. In my masters I developed a sprayer, like a small sprayer for cotton crop, and you should go for like higher studies. I said, okay, like I want to do in environmental. I don't want to see this. Like I want to give farmers like new technologies they could use and have benefits. It's not like something we just tell the farmer not to do it. They don't do it out of their heart, right? They don't want to burn it, but they are forced to burn it because they don't have an alternative for it. So I came in Canada. Like I applied for Concordia University in environmental engineering. So I came in Canada. So yeah, that was the main reason, I would say.
That's really interesting because if most people think about Indians,
Yeah.
they don't think Indians are very environmentally conscious people.
Yeah.
When you go to India, there's shit and garbage all over the place. And most Indians don't see the garbage.
Yeah.
You know, but we were talking before, and you have so many ideas of how to improve the environment.
Yeah. For sure.
What's different about you? Why do you care so much about the environment when your fellow people don't
that-
necessarily care?
That's a tough question. Yeah, that's a tough question. I don't know what to say about it. It's just that, like, I can tell you about myself. Like, I've been very close to Part. So there's a line.
Part is meditation.
Our holy book, Guru Granth Sahib. So I always, like, in the morning I do little. I don't do like long ones, but sometimes I do it.
Mool Mantar,
Like I do Japji Sahib, Chapai Sahib, and like one or two Ashtapadis of
by memory you have.
Japji Sahib by memory. Yeah.
Wow, okay. Very good.
Yeah. So there's a line there, like in Japji Sahib, Pavan Guru, Pani Pita, Mata Tat Mat. So like it translates to like air is our father, Pani, like water is our guru, and Tarti, like our land is our mother, right? So if we are polluting that, like this has been always in my mind. Like I have been from agricultural background. My father was a like director in agriculture engineering. We have always been in like studies around agriculture. So I always feel that like where we want to go. Like let's say I have $1 million today, but where I am living, I cannot breathe good. My body doesn't feel good. How good is that $1 million? It's worth nothing. So money is just worth the experience it can get you, right? So yeah, then I was always very, very, very much interested. Then I met many great people, Rajbir Singh was my director. He taught me a lot about it, about environment, how we are actually polluting it. Because when we are studying and then we actually go into the field, then we realize like the studies and the field are like such a different things. And yeah, like I that's a, I don't have an answer for that. Like why me? I think what do I just do?
No, it sounds like a really good answer. To me, what it sounds like is you believe in God.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
And it sounds like because you believe in God, something outside of yourself, you just don't care about yourself. You care of things outside of yourself, which includes your community,
Yeah, for
and
sure.
includes
for sure.
your environment.
Yeah.
A lot of people, they hate on God. They say religion is bad. But at the end of the day, it makes, on most cases, it makes you a better person.
Yeah.
Do you think you'd have your relationship to your environment if you didn't have the relationship to God?
Yeah, I guess if I don't have, because the thing is, in terms of religion, I don't follow a religion like to the point like that. I just believe that there's one Almighty, no shape, no form, like He's just there. So if I didn't believe that, then anything I do doesn't have any like moral consequences or something like that, right? Then I can just do anything and don't be feel bad about it. So basically, I would say that like having to believe in God basically keeps you in a position where you want to do something good, yeah,
For the greater good.
for the greater good.
Because nowadays, I mean, religion is the least. Religion and God are two different things.
Two different things. for sure.
Religion is kind of humans. God is a higher power.
Yeah.
But nowadays, because people don't believe in either, what are they believing in? Well, our brains are scattered. We have no idea what to believe.
Yeah.
So people are just reacting to their emotions because they have nothing else to focus their attention on. And look what's happening.
Yeah.
There's a lot of confusion. So I definitely see where you're coming from. So going back to your environmental focus.
Yeah.
Because it's very unique, not to see a Punjabi farmer in Canada, but to see a vertical Punjabi farmer in Canada.
Yeah.
Did you get into vertical farming because of its environmental efficiencies, or what made you get into vertical farming?
That would be when I was doing my second master's in environmental from Concordia University. So there I had a project. I had to build a hydrological model for a big area. While I was doing that, I came across a WHO report. The World Health Organization published a report saying that the food is gonna be very scarce in the future.
Yeah.
Because of the climate change and everything. And climate change is a pretty big thing and it's happening and we don't realize it. But yeah, so while I was reading that and I came to realize that, yeah, that is a big thing and food is going to be very scarce. And food is a basic necessity. It's not a luxury, it's a necessity. You
Yeah.
have to have it to live, right? And then I was like, when I came to Canada, the biggest motivator was that when I cooked food for myself, it didn't taste fresh. It did not.
Nothing's
It
like
looked
food
good.
from Punjab, brother. Let's be
Yeah.
honest.
No, for sure. For example, the green peppers here, they looked more good to me, but they tasted bland.
So
Like,
true.
they had no taste to it.
So true.
So then I asked around. I asked my professor, like, why does it happen? He said that we do not grow here, so everything is coming from like thousands of miles. So they have to freeze it and then thaw it. So it loses some like vitamin C, vitamin B or something like that, and the actual freshness to it. So I was like, okay, this is not a way like I want to eat my food or something like that. Then I was just like, I was always a curious mind. I would always yeah, I don't go to Instagram or such reels. I just go to informative new technology. I'm very curious about that. So I started learning, and there were many people vertical farming has been studied for almost 10 years. Yeah, so I started searching, and then I made up my mind, oh, this is what I want to do. Yeah.
So one thing it kind of sounds like the food that we're eating today doesn't have much life in it because it's
No.
been shipped, and because of that, we're not really getting the benefits. We're not really getting the taste.
Yeah.
We're not really getting the connection.
Yeah.
And vertical farming, can you explain to me? Because a lot of people, we all hear about vertical farming.
Yeah.
It's a buzzword.
Yeah.
Some people think it's a trend. What the hell is vertical farming?
So if I have to explain it very simply, so vertical farming is actually, let's say, to grow like a food without the soil. We have many technologies like hydroponics, aeroponics, aquaponics. And that we already have so many greenhouses using hydroponics, right? So it's basically that. But with vertical farming, what we do is we try to use as much as like we trying to grow upwards. So maybe we put shelves, we put towers. There are many structures in that. So basically, we are trying to limit our footprint and to grow as much as we can. So yeah, vertical farming is something to you using the other technologies which are already available and putting them all into one little space which we can grow upwards and yeah, grow as much as we can.
So, what are the benefits of vertical farming, and why is it becoming more popular today?
Benefits, there are a lot. There are a lot. For example, let's start from the beginning. The first benefit is we use very little land. So we have a lot of land which is not like used for farming. Let's say I can, in my 300 square feet, I can grow about an acre. So if I had an acre and rest of the field, I could just grow trees and something which make it good for like the environment and everything. Because agriculture land as a whole takes a lot of space, and in that space we cut down trees and everything, and we think that agriculture is nice, but commercial agriculture actually is like commercial agriculture which we do, or like I don't know what is, yeah, but it's actually like very bad, because when we have big fields, right, we take out the birds and everything, because when we have a vast land, there were trees, we cut them down, and there are no birds around. We then the pests come in, because birds are not there to eat the pests. Then we spray with pesticide. This is what I'm talking about when I wasn't back in India, like when back in Punjab.
Well, I just tilled my farm, and all these bunnies are living on my farm.
Yeah.
And I probably killed a few of their kids while I was tilling the land. So you get to see the damage that large scale farming does.
Large scale farming, it does a lot of damage. Because here in farming, I've been here in 1 year, right? So I have not seen, like, I do not know exactly how people farm here. I don't want to say anything that is not true. But about India, Punjab, I know that like there are vast lands, and this is how they do it. Like, So the other benefit is that we use very less water. So we like in my farm, I do not. I once I fill my tanks, I do not need any more water. So I recirculate that water. Even the water that is my plants transpire into the air, we use dehumidifiers to get the water out and reutilize that, and we clean the water. So like it reduces the need of the like using water resources as well, because agriculture as a whole is a very big like water demand is very high. Like you need water. We are lucky here, we have so much rain, but in the places where it's not, like it's such a huge demand,
like Las Vegas or Rajasthan.
Exactly. And the other thing is, like, you can grow anything anywhere. So right now, like here in Canada, why we have become accustomed to eating non-fresh food, like, or something like that, is basically because in winters we can't grow it. So it's not something that it happened due to necessity, right? So we can't grow it in the winters. So but if we have a technology, we can grow like local produce, and then we can.
So you're saying that because vertical farming is contained inside of an environment.
Yeah.
So you can create any kind of microclimate inside of that?
Yeah.
So you're telling me you can grow mangoes in vertical farming?
Yes. Theoretically we can.
Right.
But it won't be viable economically.
Yeah.
For example, like mango is a tree, right? It takes 3 to 4 years to like get to maturity.
Sure.
So if you have to give that environment for 3 to 4 years, it's not possible. It's not economical. It is possible, but it's not economical.
Right.
So right now, for being economical in it, we have like we have gone to like leafy greens, like for example lettuce. I have grown lettuce, cilantro, kale, thyme, rosemary, all the herbs. Basil is my main product now, and strawberries as well. We could grow like cabbages or something. Like we can grow like theoretically we can grow anything. We can even grow trees. We can grow everything, but that like the economics come into.
That makes sense. I want to talk more about that in a second, but ultimately, there's a lot of benefits to vertical farming.
Yeah.
But the three that really stand out is one, it's very land efficient,
Yeah.
right? Because you're growing vertically and the sky's the limit,
Yeah.
right? B, it's very water efficient, right? And you recirculate your water too, right?
Yeah.
So it's very efficient there. And three, you can really dial in the kind of climate that you want. So you're not really impacted by floods, droughts, weather, temperatures, this and that, and you can create the exact climate you need for the produce you're growing.
Yeah, and the fourth one is also a good one, like a big one, because the thing is, the plants get the nutrients so easily, because in land they have to compete with other plants,
Right.
and to get those nutrients. So a lot of plant energy goes towards getting those nutrients. But in like a vertical farm, if we're using hydroponics, aeroponics, the nutrient availability is very easy. So plants get more energy towards growing themselves. So this is what I want to like tell the listeners as well. If you ever see any hydroponic or vertically grown thing, compare that with the field grown. You will see, like for example, my basil, right? So if we get it from outside, it's light green. Mine is like vertical grown is dark green. Dark green says that like dark green says that like it has more chlorophyll in it. So more chlorophyll, more nutrients, more it's more good for us, because the plant. I use this analogy. Let's say you are going to a gym, and one person is going to gym eating a normal diet, and one person is going to a gym eating like a protein diet or whatever he should. He will be little bit more like faster and more bulkier, right? So that's what happens with the plants. So when they get their food, their energy easily, they grow really big and fast.
Interesting. So what you're saying is because vertical farming is much more of a exact science and efficient, we're able to produce more nutriently dense produce in that process.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's very interesting. So there's a lot of benefits
Yeah.
to vertical farming.
Yeah.
What are the disadvantages with vertical farming?
The biggest one would be the energy cost. Right now, the energy cost is really high. So that's a big thing that like makes me feel bad about it as well, because I'm using so much energy towards growing it, and using energy is basically going carbon positive, right? Because that energy is being created somewhere using fossil fuels or something like that. So yeah, to mitigate that, we could go for carbon neutral, like carbon negative, being like I could capture carbon dioxide from the air and use it inside my farm. But yeah, the biggest disadvantage would be the energy cost and the initial investment needed. So it takes a lot of money to build it. For me, it took a little bit more because I was experimenting. So I did not like buy it. I just like put out my sleeves and I just started building it. I built it all by myself. I only use contractor for like electrical works because I couldn't do that. But other like building all the stuff, I did it on my own.
That must have been pretty scary, or was it fun? Or
It was fun. It was fun.
Okay.
Because the thing is, from my young age, I have always been very fascinated about building things, right? So it was amazing journey.
I can
like,
see. Look how much you're smiling. You're thinking about when you're in there playing.
Exactly, like-
it makes you feel like a kid, right?
Yeah, like oh man, like while I was talking about it, you actually caught that. Like I was actually imagining that when I was there, and every day was a challenge. Every day was a like a big win. And it was amazing. It was amazing. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, I can see that. I can definitely see that. Yeah, man, that's very interesting. Yeah, because honestly, before I started all this, I didn't know much about farming. Every day I'm learning so much. And a part of my goal is to share what I learned, but I don't want people thinking I'm the expert, but having people who, regardless of what you think of yourself, you are an expert of vertical farming compared to the majority of people, right? Right?
I don't know about that.
So,
Yeah, I'm learning every day.
of course,
Yeah.
of course. So, I got so many more questions. So, right now, one of the disadvantages is that it takes a lot of energy to produce this, right? But it seems like humanity is working towards more sustainable sources of energy.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about our future of fueling vertical farming?
Oh, that's amazing question. Yeah, like if the sources can be sustainable, that would be amazing. But in right now, what I think about my farm is, because my goal is carbon negative. Like my goal is to go carbon negative, so that like anything I'm growing is not affecting the environment.
So when you say carbon negative, carbon neutral, carbon positive, what does that mean?
So, okay, let's take an example of our house, right? We use electricity, we use the other stuff. Okay, let me explain it some other way. Sorry, it would be such a long thing. Carbon negative is something kind of an balance. Whatever the resources I need to use there, how much carbon dioxide or other carbon emissions are being generated to build that. For example, my farm does not generate any carbon, but the electricity I use is being created somewhere that is actually generating carbon emissions into the environment, right? So that's a balance. So if when I'm saying that I am carbon neutral, that means that all the resources that I'm using, I'm also taking those out of the environment as well. So then it becomes a balance. Carbon negative is actually like the resources that I use, the carbon emissions generated by those are less than the carbon emissions that I take out of the environment. And vertical farming can be a big thing in going carbon negative, like a whole around the world as well, because plants such like they're such a great creation of God. They use carbon dioxide to grow, and they produce oxygen for us. So we actually need carbon dioxide. So yeah, instead of like taking cylinders of carbon dioxide from other chemical farms, we could actually capture the carbon dioxide from the air. Yeah.
So what you're saying is, because most people just care about mostly their emissions that their organization or business is running.
Yeah.
But your mindset is more holistic, more macro, about what is the impact I'm having overall.
Overall. Yeah,
Is that
sure.
a common mindset a lot of farmers have?
I haven't. I don't want to say this, but like I've never seen anybody in my life like who like even I have like my father has been a director his whole life. He has managed so many farms, helped so many farmers. Even I had to explain this to him. So yeah, I've never seen.
No, that says a lot about you, right? Because like farming is so damn difficult.
Yeah, it is.
And vertical farming, it's a large investment up front.
Yeah.
It's it's difficult putting up that money, slowly getting it back, but it really shows your purpose and your goal of it's not just about providing for the local community, providing for your family. You want to make an impact on this planet. In fact, you want to make sure that, it sounds like, correct me if I'm wrong, you want to make sure that every step that you're taking is making the world a better place.
Yeah.
That's admirable.
Actually, that's what like fuels me.
Yeah. So you're talking about carbon negative.
Yeah.
So is that technology available where we can describe carbon negative and how you can make your operations carbon negative?
Carbon negative is not a technology kind of thing. Carbon negative is just an emissions. Let's say you use this much amount of electricity. For this electricity, the government has already numbers that this much carbon emissions will be put out in the air, right? And then you say that okay, if I like, then you have to do something to take carbon emissions from the air or from something else. Do something sustainable. Then you can say okay, this is negative, this is positive. I am like on in the balance.
Balance, yeah.
But the technology that you're talking about, like I was talking before as well, that is something which I am saving up to build. Is a DAC system. It's called direct air capture.
Direct air capture.
Yeah. So it is not a new technology. I would say I'm not like inventing it. It's like many big companies are already doing it. Not in vertical farming though. They are doing it in like other like industries. So what they do is we have many materials that they actually capture the carbon dioxide from the air. They capture all the carbon emissions, we put it in the air, they will capture the carbon dioxide, and then we can utilize that carbon dioxide in pressurize into a tanks or something like that. For me, it's a much simpler thing because my farm needs carbon dioxide. So instead of buying it from some other industry that creates carbon dioxide from a chemical reaction that actually also takes part in carbon emissions, I could actually capture the atmospheric carbon dioxide and make my, at least where my vertical farm is, at least that area will be little bit more good to like breathe and everything. And
how do you capture carbon dioxide from the air?
there are many ways in it. So there are many materials. There are gels, there are liquids. There is most common and easier one would be the activated carbon. So you just pass air through it and heat it, and you get the carbon dioxide.
That's really interesting.
Yeah, the many easy ways, but yeah, many ways. To do it.
But that's a goal that you have down the road, is to become carbon negative. Yeah. And it sounds like you could potentially be an innovator in that space in this nearby area and show other people how to make this method more sustainable.
Yeah, for sure. Like my goal is like not like, yeah, I want to build my business as well, but my goal is not that going building patents and like stopping other people from doing it. I really like everybody do it. It's like it's good for the environment, right?
Yeah.
So like yeah, I would love for the farmers, like even in greenhouses, like if we have a big farmer who has a greenhouse, he's using carbon dioxide from outside, let him, he should put a DAC system there, and like he will also get like even government is helping in that, like they give carbon credits to it, so you can use that in tax purposes, you can even sell that into the market or something like that. It's good.
I like that. You know, on my farm I'm developing a tent where anybody can come for free and host a class.
Amazing.
They don't have to charge for free. You can make money. But I want like all these people with this knowledge. Sometimes people don't know how to bring people and they don't know where to host it. You come up with the class, I'll find the people for you. Let's start sharing our knowledge.
Yeah, for sure. I would love that.
I would love for you to come and start sharing. Think about it for now, but vertical farm.
I will have to work on my speaking things as well. I'm very shy guy.
I get you.
I'm very shy guy.
I get you.
It's really hard for me to like talk to you. Talking to you is really easy for me. I don't know, like because maybe you are such a good talker. Like you get things out of the people. You have that thing in you. But otherwise, I'm a very shy guy.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like I think we were talking about this before. Most people's number one fear is public speaking.
Yeah, for sure.
Number two is death.
Yeah.
So that means people are more scared of speaking in front of a group of people than dying, which really says a lot. Because dying is like this. Public speaking is, oh God, you know?
How do I look? And am I saying the words correct?
Am I being a pakhandi? Am I being fake?
Exactly.
All stuff like that. But once you overcome that, you're unstoppable. And dude, you're doing a great job.
Oh, thank you.
The more practice you get, it's one of the best skills we have. Because as humans, if we don't know how to communicate in front of individuals, in front of large groups, it's very limiting how much impact we can have.
Yeah, for sure. No, I'm learning every day. I used to tell my father, like when I built my farm, that I'm an engineer. I can build it like I can build it. I can give you a guarantee that this will work. But going into the market to sell it, it's a different thing. I will have to learn. But with the God's grace and everything, when my like parents support, I'm learning every day. I'm like able to get my ideas out and not feel bad, but still I have a long way to go.
No, I like that. And that's, I think, one thing that makes you very powerful. One is your curiosity. You're a very curious person. That's not common. people don't like learning things they don't know because A, it scares them, and B, it makes them feel stupid. They want to stay within a bubble, but you're curious. You like learning more. You like reaching out. And B, it doesn't seem like failure stops you. It seems like failure is a part of life and you're willing to accept failure, right? And vertical farming, and there's a lot of things that can go wrong, but the fact that you started, I think that says a lot about you. So that's really good. What I wanted to ask you next was, you can grow anything in vertical farming.
Yeah.
But right now you're saying you're growing basil.
Yeah.
And tulsi, which is a Indian basil.
Indian basil.
A medical.
Yeah,
Indian
I
basil.
also started Thai basil as well.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So there was a demand for it. One of the few many good like farm markets, like the stores, they told me like grow Thai basil for us.
Thai basil is my favorite.
Amazing, I have some.
Do you know pho? It's a Vietnamese soup.
Okay, no.
And you just rip some up, you rub it up, you throw it in. It's so fragrant, it's so delicious.
Yeah.
I'm happy.
Then you're gonna love the Thai basil in a vertical farm.
Okay.
Because it is way more fragrant. It is way more fragrant. Like yeah.
There's a word in Urdu and Punjabi, it's called khushbu, which means fragrance. I love that word. You know what I mean? Oh, the khushbu is so nice.
Yeah, exactly.
But so why are we only producing, and I'm going to say vertical farmers, why are we only producing leafy greens? Why are we not at the point where we can do more with the vertical farming economically?
That would be the initial cost of it. Because the initial cost is so high and the operation cost of the electricity is high, then you have to get something that grows fast and you can that utilizes very little space, so you can have a lot of it and you can get harvest fast. We could go into more as well, like one thing like kesar, like you know about kesar. Kesar is a Indian, not in Indian, in Middle East as well. It's a flower, so they just use the stem of those flowers. It is very 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 expensive in medical world. It's like $500 per gram or something like that. So they grow that as well in India in vertical farming setups. But that takes like years to grow. Yeah, something like that. And but yeah, like we can go into other things as well, only if the operation costs are less, or the person has little bit backup of money, so he can wait. So for example, we can grow strawberries very easily. We can grow a ton of them, but we would have to wait for many months for them to grow.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's a large upfront investment.
Large upfront investment.
Interesting.
So you could grow like anything, like green peppers, tomatoes, anything, like whatever you need, like garlic, even potatoes. Those are grown inside the soil, right?
Right.
You can grow those as well. I have grown spring onions as well. So you could grow actually anything. It's just that for that you might need the initial investment little bit more because you would have to operate the farm for a few months without getting a harvest.
Right. So it kind of makes sense as a vertical farmer, just focus on leafy greens that go
In the starting.
and then once you recover costs, then you can diversify.
Exactly.
And that seems to be your plan.
Yeah, exactly. So my plan is something like similarly like this. Like yeah, you got most of it. So like getting, I have a shipping container. So I'll build another one and then another one. Each container will have a different growing condition in it. So when I have like a second or third, and then I can invest into more popular or more needed produce, which will take a little bit of time, but at that point I will have that option to wait.
That's cool. Yeah. So if you scale vertical farming, say, instead of a shipping container, you're in a giant building. Do you still get the efficiencies as you get bigger?
No, if you like those reduce a little, and then you need a lot more energy to do it. But the environmental control would be more efficient. Yeah, but my goal is not to build a big thing, because my goal is like variety kind of thing. I can grow everything and give to the like community, because there are two ways I can go. I can get some investments. I can build a big facility. I can say, okay, from now on I can capture the market of whole BC and Alberta and everywhere. I'll be the only one growing lettuce. I just want to say, I just, what I want to do is, I want to say I want to build small shipping containers. In one I grow basil because it likes hot, and then in other one I use mint, mint lettuce or something like that. It needs like colder environment. I use the excess heat from mint to into there, so I reduce my energy consumption as well. And in this community or in this area, I provide fresh food like all year.
You want to serve your local community.
Yeah.
Especially with the kind of produce
Before
you're making.
this I would give to you. Before I was not thinking a lot about it, but the moment I came to the farmers market, I met so many people, and they were so happy to enjoy it. And I even got messages after they got it, and that sparked something in me. And now I want to do it.
I love
now,
that.
now I want to do it. Like it's something like I want to do it.
I love that. So you need some sort of produce that grows very quickly. How long does it take for basil to go from start to harvest?
That's another benefit here as well. Like for example, if the basil would take 2 months from seed to first harvest, in my farm it will take me 40 or 45 days. So it reduces by 15, like, yeah.
Because it's efficient. It's an accelerant.
Yeah. So it's basically like because when we are growing outside, right? When there is cloud, there is no sun, and sometimes the temperature goes less. Sometimes the temperature is too high. So in those times, what plant does is when plant stops its metabolism to grow, it puts that into more roots and everything. In my farm, it's always exactly what the plant needs. So it's grown in an environment where he's very happy, kind of a way. The plant is very happy that okay, I'm in a nice environment and clean air, like all the sun, like energy I need, the carbon dioxide levels are amazing. I want to grow.
Yeah.
So it puts all his energy into growth.
That makes sense. I mean, if you're a kid and your dad is there every single day, you're going to have a very consistent environment. You're going to grow into a good person.
Yeah.
But if your dad's gone one day, next, it's going to cause a lot of variation. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So leafy greens is popular. What about things like microgreens and sprouted things? Is that
Those are very easy. For those you don't even need a big investment. If anybody wants to do it, I could show you. Like I could give you all the things you need. It's very easy to grow.
because microgreens, people are paying a lot of money for things like microgreens and sprouted herbs.
Okay. From this podcast, I would love to say that if anybody wants to grow microgreens at their home, it's very easy. I'll show you how to do it because I'm not doing that. But it's very, very easy to do it. You don't need big investment to do it. You don't need a lot of attention to give it. It's very easy. Like I'll show you guys, and you can grow it at your home and eat your own microgreens. And in microgreens, people can experiment a lot,
Yeah.
with the different seeds and everything. It's amazing. Yeah.
That's true. What's your Instagram handle?
It's Sustainable Farms.
Sustainabite Farms.
Yeah. Oh, a lot of people confuse that with sustainable. Yeah. I did a word thing there, but now I feel that it should have been more simpler.
It's fine. These things don't matter.
Yeah.
As long as your word is nothing racist, you can call your company whatever you want.
Yeah.
As long as people like your product, they're happy with it.
Amazing. So that's my Instagram handle. So send me a message if you want to learn about it. I will always answer and not go into my post. I'm a kind of old school guy. I stay away from Instagram as much as I can.
Yeah, unfortunately nowadays, in order to be a successful farmer, you have to be an expert marketer.
Exactly. Now I'm learning. Like I talked to you about it, so I'm actually working on some posts, and I will post for sure. Yeah.
Well, one of my goals is to help farmers with marketing. Farming is so hard, and farmers don't know how to market. And if you go to any advertising agency, unfortunately, they're just going to take advantage of you because you don't know what's what. You don't know who to trust anymore.
Yeah.
I can help farmers market. I can bring customers to them. I can teach them how to market. And for most farmers, they don't need to do much. Like I told you, just make one TikTok video a week. Just like we were talking before, one step at a time. one video, it builds into something, because in order to be a successful business, you need a community behind you.
for sure.
Products come and go, but community stays. And the nice thing is, once you have a solid community, you can just devise and create whatever they want because that community stays.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna lie, this was a lot of fun.
This was amazing.
I didn't realize it was gonna be this fun, but like I like asking questions, but
Yeah.
sometimes it's too much for people, for me. But this gives me an outlet, and I learned so much. So I want to ask you one last question
Yeah.
before we wrap this up. When did you start vertical farming?
I started building that in last year,
Okay.
around October or something.
Okay.
And I completed the finishing in January, and from this January I'm selling.
Okay. Let's say, for example, right here, a time portal opened up.
Yeah.
You walk through it, and you entered into October of last year.
Okay.
And you are able to talk to the Ranjot who's just about to start vertical farming.
Yeah.
You have maybe 5 minutes to talk to the Ranjot. Besides the fact he's going to be freaking the hell out, what would you tell him? What advice
Just
would
keep
you give
going.
him?
Keep going. It's amazing. Yeah, like don't fear like you're gonna fail or something, and you'll go through it. Yeah. Just keep going.
That's beautiful, man.
Yeah, because that time like it was a lot of pressure at me, like because I was putting in my whole life savings, and my dad was helping me. I was not going into something that had already somebody else has done it, had results from that. I was going into something like I didn't know if it's gonna work or not. So it was so many sleepless nights. I would love to say to myself, just keep going, don't worry about it. Just like you'll be able to do it.
I love that. There's a Japanese concept called ikigai. Ikigai is about finding your purpose in life, and it's a match of different things: doing what gets you paid, doing what you enjoy, doing what helps the community. It's about 4 different things, and if you can find that sweet point, it doesn't matter what happens, you're going to be happy. And I can honestly say, Ranjot, you have a really big heart. You know, you're saying that people are happy interacting with you is because you're just, when you talk about it, you're so excited. And that's so rare. You don't go to Superstore and employees there are just like, oh, we have the news, right? People miss that energy, bro. And your passion comes through.
Yeah.
That's why you're here today. That's why you're going to be a success. That's why you're going to be helping your local community, is because you're following your passion.
Yeah.
Even though you're working Uber until 5, 6 a.m. at night to make this work, that's what's pushing you. And like you said, when's your harvest days? Thursday?
Wednesday, harvest days are Tuesday and Wednesday, but I deliver on Wednesday and Thursday.
And that's the days you enjoy the most.
Oh man,
It fills
those
your
are
soul.
amazing. Yeah. When I go to a store and they say that, oh, where have you been? They're all sold out. It fills my heart with such much joy.
That's beautiful. So guys, this was Ranjot Dhaliwal, right?
Yeah.
His Instagram is Sustainabite Farms. His farm is in a shipping container in Surrey at the end of 72nd. I'm pretty sure if you hit him up on Instagram and you're curious, he'll probably show you the container. It smells so damn good in there. It's such a cool setup. If you're interested in getting into vertical farming, you want to learn a little bit more, just send him a message. You don't have to start today, but this guy has a big heart and he'd love to see more people get into it. Do you have any final words before we end this podcast?
I would just say lots of love to you guys, and thank you very much, Gagan, for giving me a chance. And for everybody I have met at the farmer markets, thank you very much. You gave me a lot of joy. And the rest of I want to see you guys. So come to my next farmer market, and we'll meet there. Yeah.
Stay in touch, guys.
Thank you very much.